Hard to gain muscle in a calorie deficit, little bro. Don't call me little bro, all right? Have a little class. Have a little respect. And yeah, all right, fine. Maybe you're right. I don't care. But I feel like I still could. The worst part of trying to get fit is the food, especially because I made a hard commit. This is gonna sound bad. I'm saying it ahead of time. All right, you can't make fun of me. You can't call me out of touch. You can't call me a streamer. You can't do anything. I made a hard commit to only order food 3 times a week. Only 3 times in a whole week. That's it. Am I a hero for this? I'm asking a question. Is that heroic of me? Does that make me some sort of divine beast fighting against the odds? I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying that, you know, I hear it out there in the ether. Here's what generally happens, okay? Here's what generally happens. I have breakfast covered for myself. No problem. Don't need to order out. Ari will usually handle dinner, which leaves me to handle lunch for me and Ari. My go-to is like a peanut butter jelly sandwich. But if she doesn't want that or I don't want that, then I don't have like a deeper bench. You know what I'm saying? Or a ham sandwich. I'm a big sandwich guy. Or I'll do like a factor meal or something, okay? I don't have a deeper bench than this. So what I'll do on those days is I will order lunch for both of us and then it's covered. And now I've got her a meal. I've got her some Chipotle or something. I've now provided. I basically brought back a fucking elephant husk to the cave, okay? And I'm providing for the family. It's just stupid. I just think my goal is to get it down to 0 or just like 1 on special occasions. Because ordering out is just, if you really look at it, even from like a grind set POV, it's like I could have taken that $50, $60 and invested in something. That's literally what I think about. Yes, and I'm not kidding when I say 60 for 2. Again, we're in LA. California more expensive. I've ordered, you know, Uber Eats in Arizona. It's different. But like, if you order like Chipotle for 2, $50, $60, easy. 2 burrito bowls and a water bottle, $48.67. Damn, that's crazy. My goal is to cut it down to nothing, to cut it off the list, slice it, dice it, be done with it, all right? And then I would like to take that money and buy a share of something every day and just keep adding to the pile, bro. I've been trying to build this pile. Also, Uber Eats increases the base price. Is that true? I feel like I've heard that, but is that true? Uber Eats just straight up like cashes up the base price. That's kind of fucked up. Because if I look on the website right now, if I order a burrito bowl, it's $12, which sounds fucking high because my mind is still tuned to ASU Arizona prices from 2013. But I think that's normal. I'm pretty sure that's normal Chipotle prices in California. What if we went back to 2005 level inflation? Would Chipotle prices go down? Inflation is always prices going up. Always. So in 2005, it was probably 2%, probably a normal inflation rate. So that means prices would go up 2% a year. But when it goes up 2% a year, which is the government's goal, people don't really notice. It's small enough they don't really notice, and it's considered by them to be better to err on the side of being a little bit of inflation than being a little bit of deflation, which is prices going down. And you might think, what the fuck? I want prices to go down. But the problem is, if prices go down 2% every year, then people have an incentive to not buy things. They're like, wait, I'll just wait. It'll be cheaper later. Things are always getting cheaper. I'll just wait. And then they don't buy things and the economy slows down, yada, yada, yada. That's the idea. So that's what they want, keep it at 2%. But now if you look at the history of that number, they actually kind of pulled it out of their ass. I mean, 2% was just chosen one time. I think it was one European country, central bank said, we're going for 2% target. And then everyone just kind of ran with it. And it's been like the thing. It's not like a fucking scientific number. The real dream, if governments could actually do it, would be sound money, 0% inflation. Your money is your money. It buys the same. Prices of things would go up as they get more expensive to make and go down as they overall get cheaper and technology gets better. That would be awesome, but they can't do that. So they aim for 2%. So yeah, if we were to go back to 2005, it would just be growing slightly slower. Why is 0% not possible? Just a very, very difficult moving target to hit. There's so many things that go into prices that it will be tough for the government to ever try to hit 0%, especially when we run fucking deficit to print money. So they just aim for 2%. 2% is like the goal. If you could change one thing in the history of finance, what would it be? If I'm being dead honest, I don't know if it would actually change anything long term, but I would have had Ronald Reagan decide never to go into politics. There's a story I heard, okay? And you can tell me if it's a little incorrect. This is a little bit off memory. In Sweden, there was a king, this was way back in the day, who was very, very ostentatious. He was very profligate spender with his money. And he built this giant fucking ship, one of the biggest ships ever in the bay of the city, like where all the people of the city could see it, okay? The ship was so big that on the day it was set to sail, it keeled over. It like fucking broke and fell into the harbor, and like you could still see maybe the mast sticking out or whatever. It was a disaster. It's a huge, monumental public failure. This becomes part of the lore of the people of the country, where they sort of get a generalized societal-wide attitude that like getting too big for your britches with money and spending and is bad, and it's better to like not try to flex so much. And that thing has positive effects years, decades later, on laws, on attitudes, on equality in the country. You know what I'm saying? I wish that Ronald Reagan, when he tried to cut taxes on the wealthy at the same time as he was trying to do it and do trickle-down economics, he slipped and fell on a banana peel into a huge pile of manure. I wish it was broadcast on national TV, and then right as he was saying this is a good idea, he tripped and he fell and he ate shit literally, and everyone laughed and laughed and laughed, and he lost all of his votes. And it was a disaster, and he got super flamed, and all of his opponents got way more votes. I wish that happened, and it like was a lasting memory, and it was caught in fucking HD for the first time, and people play the clip a million times. I wish that was part of our social fabric, that we think of that as a shitty idea, and that he was a shitty person for suggesting it. But instead, he was widely celebrated, and because often stupid finance decisions are short-term benefit, like short-term positive, but long-term shitty. So a president can make a decision that's like bad for the country long-term, but during his presidency leads to like more spending and growth. And so he does that, and the 80s are like boom years, and everyone loves him, and they look back on him so fondly. And actually, he was really fucking dumb. If I had to change one thing, it would be that went really poorly for him, and we all remembered it. What exactly did he do as dumb? He broke the back of all unions in America, removing that third voice between government, corporations, and labor. He just got rid of labor. He cut taxes dramatically on rich people and corporations with the idea that the money would trickle down into new jobs and other people. But instead, all it led to was an ever-increasing wealth gap because the rich who are ahead got more and more ahead. Those are the main things. He also cut a lot of social services, a lot of government mental health programs, things that like had a good social safety net for America so people could like get back on their feet when they stumbled. So I think he was very bad for the country, but in ways that weren't apparent till later. Trickle-down economics is so funny because it really does sound like the rich are pissing on you. Like that's what it literally is, and also it sounds like that. It's like very aptly named. Trickle-down economics seems to ignore the core tenet of greediness in economics. Do people just not think of that at the time? The argument sounds simple, right? If let's say it hasn't happened before, and we haven't proven that it doesn't work. Someone says, hey, this rich guy, he made a factory and hired thousands of people. He made a lot of jobs. But the government keeps taxing him at high rates. They're taking his money to give it to welfare queens, is what they would say. They're taking their money to give it to, to spend on stupid shit, stuff you don't like. And then you're like, wow, I don't want that. Now, if you're to give him back that money and don't tax him, he'll probably open another factory and he'll hire 1,000 more people and the economy will be great. When you take the angle of like, here's something in the government that you don't like, they're spending your money on that. Why should they be taxing? Even though they're not talking about your taxes, they're talking about exactly what's being spent. That's how they work. You understand? That's how they market it. And it sounds good. When you're a regular person, you're like, wait a minute, that all checks out. And so you buy it, you fall for it, and then you end up noticing the rich get more and more and more and more ahead. The gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the promised trickle down didn't come. They just kept it. They used it to buy more assets. They acquired more wealth. They bought your house from under you and then appreciated value. It doesn't work out the way they promise. The only limiter, the only drag effect, like it's like a snowball rolling downhill. Like wealth begets more wealth. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the only thing that slows that down or drags it or keeps it from getting out of control is taxes. That's the only thing. I am a proponent of taxes, even if the money was burned. I don't need the government to even prove that it's spending on something good. That would be nice. That's my dream. But even if they took the money and burned it, all it does is just keep the game a little more fair. It just keeps the game so that somebody with a better idea can like leapfrog a rich person. And the snowball gets out of control if there's no drag on it. Thankfully, in the real world, most of it's spent on people do approve. They want it. People want Social Security. They want fucking healthcare. They want all that stuff. We just got, you know, you gotta spend it better, but they want roads, they want firemen, they want police, they want military of some sort. We spend too much, but we want military of some sort. We want intelligence, we want, you know, all that stuff. So anyone else feeling the existential dread of politics, realizing we can't actually do anything on an individual level, bro, just smoke weed. I know this is a popular vibe. It makes me, I don't want to say annoyed because you're being genuine, but it's annoying to me because the implication is like, hey, H-Rock, shut up about anything real. Like, the vibe I get when I hear that is like, hey, don't talk about real shit because like the real world's too scary and it makes me sad and like I just don't want to hear it. And it's like, bro, I like talking about this stuff. I think there's a way to learn about the real world and not like constantly be dreading or existential dread. I think, you know, knowledge is power, bro.